Everyone said they've not had any snow, so I think I'm out of range now. So I didn't end up filming much after I got back from shopping yesterday. So I thought I'd just show you what I bought in the end. It wasn't much. The first place we went to was John Lewis, and I picked up this cute little bowl. So I got these pink and orange stripes, and it's got a little heart in the middle. I don't know if you can see. And it was only like £8 or £9 or something, but I was just like, stunning. Love the colours. I thought this is just gonna be a great like soup or cereal bowl or something. So I got that. And then from another little shop, I want to say it was called Mooch, potentially. They had these reduced to £20 down from 30. So I got another Yankee candle because I want to get back into candles. I was big into candles a couple of years ago, not long before I moved into this flat. So I picked up Clean Cotton. You just can't beat it. I just love fresh, clean scent so much. And that's all I got. I went into Waterstones as well. Like, one of my goals for 2026 is not to buy as many books, because I've got tons already. And I just want to concentrate on reading down the ones that I have. I'll just show you. So hey Mia. This is my unread bookshelf. So all of these books and that big stack that's been building up and up, all those shelves are unread books, and there's just tons there. And then not to mention the same again on my Kindle. I've probably got around 260 unread books, and it's just too many. I think I read 108 was the final number last year. So I've already got enough books for 2 more years of reading if I continue to read at that pace, which obviously doesn't even account for books that would come out in those 2 years. So I would ideally like to, I'd love that number to be like closer to 100 than it is to 200. Because I find when there's so much on my TBR that I want to read, I feel like I get quite stressed thinking about how, like, when I'm ever going to get to books. I'd love to like maybe go back to, if I'm buying a book, it's because I want to read it like ASAP, rather than buying books and just having them sit on that shelf for years and years and years, to the point where I maybe don't even want to read it anymore and it was a waste of money. Or buying a hardback straight away because it's a new release and everyone's talking about it, and then not even reading it by the time the paperback comes out anyway. So then you spent 20 quid where you could have spent, well, 10 these days. Well, I really would like to make a dent on my TBR this year. So it's probably good that I didn't buy anything from Waterstones yesterday. So coming back yesterday, watched Traitors, obviously. Love Traitors. And then got into bed and did some reading, which I will tell you about my current read. First book of the year is The Song Rising by Samantha Shannon. So, my Samantha Shannon history. I read Priory of the Orange Tree towards the end of 2024 and like really loved it. Loved that whole book. And then early last year, might have even been end of January last year, I read The Bone Season, so the first one in this series. And like really enjoyed it. The next one I read A Day of Fallen Night as a buddy read. I feel like I've buddy read every single Samantha Shannon book. Oh well. Buddy read A Day of Fallen Night, which is obviously the prequel to Priory. And for some reason I didn't end up loving it as much. But I think not because it was bad, but I think because I found a lot of similarities with it between that and Priory. I'd be interested to know what I would have thought of it if I hadn't already read Priory. And then towards the end of 2025, maybe it was like October time, me and my friend Amy read The Mime Order, which is the second one, and loved it. Loved that way more than The Bone Season, I think, even. And it ended on such a cliffhanger. So we were like, we have to make the third one our first book of 2026. So I'm not very far in yet. I'm like maybe 20%. I'm on page 70, but I had to venture out to pick up my Morrison's order. So I've been out, got that, and then I've got no more plans for the day. So I'm gonna sit on that sofa and get into this before, I think there's talk of potentially me and my friends might be watching a film later. And then Traitors tonight, but other than that I don't think I'm gonna go out again. I'm like recovering from a cold which I had like at the end of December. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and go and read for a bit. So after literally just saying that I didn't want to buy any books this year, we've got a haul. So it's technically bought last year, it's just arrived this year. So it doesn't affect my self-imposed book buying ban. So it's Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte.
Not officially involved in the case, but he's offered to consult. Now, I happily oblige, and I can vouch for this.
Mr. Blanc, I know.
Hello. It's cold. I can't remember the last time that I spoke to camera, but it's Monday today, Monday the 5th, which means first day back at work after Christmas. It was work from home, so can't really complain too much. I was on call with my friend Katie, who I work with, we got through it together. So normally Monday is my quiz night with my family, but we decided to skip this week because my mum's had a bit of a cold, and also the weather. So it's been quite snowy here in the Midlands. Maybe not the best time for me to be driving in the dark. Although saying that, I decided instead to go to cinema. So I went to see Sentimental Value, and I thought it was good. I feel like it was maybe a little long. It was like just over 2 hours, I think. It was just just felt quite heavy in tone and quite serious, I would say. I feel like I didn't really know anything about the film going in. So it's Wednesday today, Wednesday the 7th, and as you can see, I'm working from home. I feel like it's been a tough week trying to get back into, well, it's been a struggle having the 2 weeks off over the Christmas break. I'm going to go back to work, get my Ellis and John podcast back on, and I'll see you later. It is foggy this morning. There's been no snow overnight. It was kind of like forecast sleet, so I'm not sure what I was expecting, but anyway, there's been no snow, which means I am in the office today. So first time in the office this year. I feel like the get up wasn't actually too bad this morning. I thought I'd just fill you in on yesterday, seeing as I didn't really vlog anything yesterday, but finished work and I went to the InPost lockers. God, it's so foggy. I went to the InPost lockers and posted my 2 Vinted parcels that I had for that. Then I had to go and pick up a prescription from Asda, and then I went down to the library to take my 2 library books back that I got out before Christmas. And I wasn't gonna get one, but I had a little look and ended up coming back with Bookshops and Bone Dust, which is already on my TBR because I've got it on my Kindle, and I'm thinking about reading it this month because the January Buzzword-a-thon prompt for covers is internal body parts. And then came back and watched Traitors. So the thing I was going to mention yesterday, which didn't get around to, was to fill you in on my book. So I finished The Song Rising Tuesday night, I think it was. On the whole, I liked it. Like, it's the 3rd in the Bone Season series. I think I gave the Bone Season like 4.5 stars. And then the second one, the Mime Order, was like incredible. Gave it 5, loved it. And it left on such like a cliffhanger moment that like, we were just so eager to go into the 3rd one. And I would say it just started off quite slow. Like, a few things were happening which seemed quite disparate. Like, things were happening, but it felt like the plot wasn't really going anywhere. And then in the second half, once they sort of get into actually what they're trying to do in the book, it really picked up. I don't know if you'd call it a sci-fi or a fantasy or like a dystopian. I think it's some combination of those 3. It's set in the future, and like human like aliens have like taken over, and there are people in this world who, I don't even know what you'd call them. I was gonna say have special powers, but so the main character we follow is a dream walker, and she can like sense other people's auras, which are these people who have the powers, like they'll have auras. She can detect them, and there's a theory that she can detach from herself and like enter somebody else and control them. But basically people with these powers are outlawed, so they live like underground in this like criminal underworld. But essentially book 1 starts with her getting captured and getting taken to this reimagined Oxford where these aliens, human-like forms, they're called Rephites, and she's like a prisoner there. And then Bone Seasons are like almost like competitions, like which they have every like 25 years or something, where they get like 40 of these people with abilities and like make them like put them through trials and stuff. So the first book is mainly about that, and then the second book, I don't know how much to give away without spoiling the first one. And then with this, I'd say the second one feels quite different in tone, like it takes place in a different setting, and like largely different characters. And then the third one sort of obviously just continues on. So it's kind of like a story of trying to take down this new government which is controlling everything and pushing these people to the outskirts of society. And there is like a slight romance subplot. But yeah, I think the first part, it just felt like it was trying to like they needed certain things to have happened in order for the second half to be able to take place. And it just felt like the first half was just like a matter of, okay, well, let's get these things happen so we can start. I don't know, it just didn't feel like it flowed particularly well. So it was my least favourite of the series so far, but I still gave it a 4. Like, it was enjoyable, easy to read. Like, I love the world of the characters at this point. So yeah, I don't know when I'm planning on reading the 4th, but I do have it. The next book that I picked up is called The Courting of Bristol Keats. So I'm doing the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, the second one, and I was originally going to pick up Brimstone because I read Quicksilver before New Year, and one of the prompts in this reading challenge is to read a new release, is to read a book that comes out every month of the year and read it within like 60 days of it coming out. And so November's pick, I was like, what books came out in November? Realised Brimstone had, but by that point I'd not read Quicksilver, so I was like, well, I could read Quicksilver. I managed to then buy a copy of Brimstone in the Waterstones sale for half price, so I was like, great, I'll read that in Jan. Jan's my cut-off, like November, mid-Jan really, is the cut-off for the 60 days to have completed the prompt. So the plan was, after the Song Rising, was to go into Brimstone as the second book and the new release. So you might be wondering why I decided to pick up a completely different book, but one of the other prompts is series staircase. So you have to read like a standalone, a duology, a trilogy, and then a book with 4 or more. And I was originally thinking I'd read Nightshade for the duology, and then once Daybreak comes out, that would be the second one. But that comes out too late because this challenge finishes in July, and that book doesn't come out till the end of July. And I was like, well, The Courting of Bristol Keats is a duology, and the second book, which is I think The Last Wish of Bristol Keats, came out in November. So I was like, I could hit 2 birds with 1 stone there. So if I read The Courting of Bristol Keats now, I've got the Last Wish of Bristol Keats from Borrow Box on my phone already, so I can then go straight into that after and still hit it in time, and I've also ticked off the duology. So that's what my thinking was there. That's what I'm reading now. I'm on my way to work, but then I'll catch up with you later, hopefully, before I get to Aqua. It's snowing. I'm about to go to Sainsbury's, but hopefully I can get there and back before it gets too bad. Yeah. Bye, girl. Me and my friend Katie just went to Sainsbury's because we didn't have any, neither of us had groceries in, and it's forecast to snow a lot tonight. And like just as we were leaving to go, it started snowing, and I was like, oh, it's been raining, it probably won't stick. By the time we got out 40 minutes later, well, you just saw in the clip, and like to get out of Sainsbury's you have to like go up a ramp, like go around a corner and then up a ramp. Do you think my little KA Plus could cope? Absolutely not. So look, well, I had a load of cardboard in the back because I was meaning to take it to the tip. So I tried to put some of that under the tyres, and then some guys had to get out and push me up. And it's not even that far back to mine, but bruh, we made it. Treacherous. Now I'm not going out again. I've just been editing this vlog, and I'm gonna like cut it here and start a new week from tomorrow. So I thought I'd just do a little sign off. But since I got back from Sainsbury's, I basically just watched Traitors. What an ep. And I've just got into bed, and I'm gonna carry on reading The Courting of Bristol Keats for a bit before I go to sleep. So yeah, thanks for watching if you made it this far. My idea for like this new year is I kind of want to like document a few more things that I can like look back on. Hence why I want to start doing like more frequent weekly vlogs. So thanks for watching if you did, and we'll see what I've got in store for next week. Me and Katie have plans again on Sunday to do something quite fun, but I think it might depend on the weather. I think we're doing quiz on Monday. Is that you can come along to quiz, Monday quiz. Again, weather depending. And then I want to get back in the pool next week as well. So maybe I'll bring you along there as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.